rightfully so, pun intended, is swinging back to the right, and you guys are not happy about it. You did this to yourselves.
Look at this picture. This is perfect. They push you, you fell, and they're gonna be like, why did you join them? Well, you keep pushing me, you dumb. Hey guys, what's up? It's me again, Meat Puppet, black guy with a perspective from one eye, and we're gonna see what the heck is happening right now. So it seems in Florida, a new law just came out. It's called Don't Be Gay, something crazy like that. A lot of people from the LGBTQ is kind of going crazy, but I just want to tell you, it's not that crazy. And not everybody agrees with that. So today we're just gonna react to my favorite lesbian. She's a cool girl, trust me. She has a great opinion. We usually agree, surprisingly. Surprisingly. I really like this woman.
Is this dangerous legislation?
Absolutely. Yeah, and the reason is that it tells youth who are different or whose families are different that there's something wrong with them out of the gate. And I do think that contributes to the shocking levels of suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts.
The only issue I have with this statement is that it is based on a lie, because of course it is. So this week in Florida, which is my home for the winter, my governor, Ron DeSantis, is supposedly backing a bill that the progressive left is calling the Don't Say Gay bill. And of course, as a lesbian myself, I had to look into this because who knows what people are lying about these days.
You do that, girl.
Apparently the bill would ban, quote, the discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity in primary schools. Okay, I want you to pay close attention to the word primary.
Yeah, that's something that I have a big problem with. It. Everybody, you know what people keep telling me? People that I try to have discussion, they told me kids at a certain level experience some sensual sexual thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, why are you going there trying to guide them? Guide them in which direction? Funky funky? I never thought about that funky funky. So maybe they have that feeling. Maybe it will go away. But the fact that you focus on that, you make it an identity. You make it important. I've never seen a little boy see somebody weirdly naked and be like, ooh, I want to penetrate that. No, they might be curious what it is. That's different. But if you're just curious, somebody might be, what? You have this feeling? Let's explore it. No.
And of course, all over the left-wing driven media, people are claiming that this is attacking LGBT people, that this is one of the reasons why gay kids are killing themselves. The White House Twitter account even chimed in saying this. Today, conservative politicians in Florida advanced legislation designed to attack LGBTQIA plus kids instead of making growing up harder for young people. President of the United States is focused on keeping schools open and supporting students' mental health. Okay, attack is a very strong word here. And this is super misleading. Let me explain why. This is about kids in elementary schools and primary schools not being introduced to sexual orientation and gender identity.
That's what I'm trying to say. Elementary. How old are the kids in elementary, you might ask?
And honestly, even as a lesbian, I don't think kids that are 5 years old need to be learning about this stuff. And I believe that parents have the right to say what goes on in kids' classrooms.
Yeah, and that is the problem because many of these kids, they have these books, children book, you can see on the design and how they explain the stories. They tell it to kids around 3, 4 or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you freaking doing? I keep bringing this up. My son, for example, they dressed him like a princess. Why? I don't know. The only reason that I didn't get angry big time because my son told me, Papa, I was a king. So he just explored it and he went away. But they decided like, hey, we need to go do something about it. And I was like, no. Let the kid decide it for himself. Simple. Don't try to push something and be like, look, it's okay. Because if they dressed him in pink, I'm like, don't do that. Oh, are you fatphobic? What? Pink is neutral. And the day that my son suddenly likes the color pink because he likes the color pink in general, let's dress him like a princess. So you can decide what is feminine when it benefits you, but I can do that. Again, and suddenly homophobic. That doesn't make any sense, people. Leave the kids.
Because we are paying taxes for that. And here's the truth that nobody's talking about. If you are LGBT, like legitimately gay, bisexual, or transgender, you don't need people, teachers, anybody, to tell you that you are. Trust me, girl, you know. We weren't taught about identity and homosexuality and all these things when I was 9 years old, and I knew. I didn't understand it completely, but I knew. Here are the facts. This has absolutely nothing to do with schools being LGBT inclusive and everything to do with telling 5-year-olds that they're gender fluid. We don't need to tell a 5-year-old that they can be both a boy and a girl. It doesn't make sense. And it's
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know why it doesn't make sense? Because if somebody says, like a kid, I wanna be a girl, ask them, what do you mean by being a girl? Well, I actually want to do this. Oh, then just go do that. But you're still a boy or a girl. I don't care. You can be a feminine boy. You can be a masculine girl. I don't mind. But why do we have all these labels? To make them feel included? The fact that you label it, there is more opportunity for them to miss the goalpost. You create a goalpost that they have to go through here because they're this. Leave them open. Let them be a feminine boy like Michael Jackson or Prince or whatever, or they can be a masculine girl like Pink or something like that. Just chill, people.
not true, and it confuses the hell out of the kids. One of the things the bill says, quote, a school district may not encourage classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in primary grade levels or in a manner that is non-age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students.
Yes, like the book that is actually at certain school. Like, hey man, you want to learn how to bloom, kabloom, kabloom? You know, I can't say it because YouTube is messing up my views. So I'm like, why are you teaching kids like that? Of course they're curious, but I remember I found I can do bloom, bloom, kabloom when I was suddenly 11, 12. I did it myself. You will find out. You can't stop it. But why do I need somebody to teach me? Which usually brings weird people near me that can take advantage of me. Are you freaking kidding me?
But of course this won't stop the far left from twisting the words in this bill and making us gay people out to be the victims once again. President Biden, or whoever runs his Twitter account, because Lord knows he can't even make sense these days, said this: I want every member of the LGBTQI plus community, especially the kids who will be impacted by this hateful bill, to know that you are loved and accepted just as you are. I have your back. And my administration will continue to fight for the protections and the safety you deserve. Okay, Joe. Number one, this is not a hateful bill. This is coming from a lesbian, okay? This is a bill that is allowing kids to continue to be kids. It doesn't say that kids can't be gay or be trans. I mean, like, you can't stop kids from being those things anyway. It's kind of just inherently inside of us. Like,
true.
It's chemical, right? We can't change it. Do you know what this is actually in reference to? Do you remember this? Do you remember the knitted penises? Or this? This is what this bill is trying to stop.
Yeah, I remember there was a girl of the boy or whatever. He was dancing on the stage. They were throwing money at him. If a girl did that at any place and men were throwing money at it, everybody was like, what? Misogyny, patriarchy. But now you have a gay guy or gay girl or whatever doing it in that way, like a trans or whatever. Everybody's like, yeah, you're doing LGBTQ. No. Why should a kid express themselves in a sensual way? And that's you're gonna tell me it's healthy? Healthy? You wanna tell somebody that expressing their beautifulness in a sensual way is gonna give them a gratifying, beautiful life? Their appearance? Why don't you tell them with all this medication they try to change their body, they end up with a very gangster weird face or something like that, and they might feel if they survive. Because some of them, they don't even reach that age, like this woman for example. Or man, I don't know what she is. But damn people, you are creating the bomb. And you're blaming me.
Guys did this to yourselves. You pushed way too hard and went way too far left, and now the pendulum, rightfully so, pun intended, is swinging back to the right, and you guys are not happy about it. You did this to yourselves.
Look at this picture. This is perfect. They push you, you fell, and they're gonna be like, why did you join them? Well, you keep pushing pushing me, you Dumbo?
Warned you. I definitely warned you. No, it's not okay for kids that are 3 and 5 years old to be told that they're gender fluid because they like the color pink and want to play with girls' toys. But of course, progressives will continue to play the victim. As always, look what Press Secretary Jen Psaki had to say.
Well, for those of you who weren't following this, maybe all of you were, but let me first say that every parent, as one myself too, hopes that our leaders will ensure their children's safety, protection, and freedom. And today, conservative politicians in Florida rejected those basic values by advancing legislation that is designed to target and attack the kids who need the support the most. Kids from the LGBTQI plus community.
Stop pretending you want to save them.
Bullying, and we've seen that in study after study, and violence just for being themselves and just for being who they are. Make no mistake, this is not an isolated action in Florida. Across the country, we're seeing Republican leaders taking action to regulate what students can or cannot read.
Okay, yes, things are happening across the country that are very similar to this Florida bill. And progressives will claim that they are anti-trans or anti-gay. But in my opinion, that's simply not true, at least from what I understand right now. And no, they aren't saying that kids can't be who they are. Like, you can't make a kid not be who they, like, that doesn't make sense. The reason these states are posting up these bills and the reason my parents are pissed off is because of 109 genders, neo-pronouns, forcing people to use said neo-pronouns.
Yes. I keep telling everybody, if I did anything, any teaching or whatever, you won't agree with it many of the time when I suggest it. But you want to suggest this. You know what? I just wish people can just be like, hey man, you want a funky, you have to put something in there, or they have to put something in there. Have fun with the person that you consider beautiful. Life is Gucci when you feel the reason to have to do that. Simple. It's not the mission. You want to go boys? Boys. You want to go girls? Go. Flick flop. No labels. Have fun. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100 labels. Stop confusing me. It's even confusing for me. It's like learning League of Legends right now with a bunch of champions. You know how many gems it is? And every one of them has 4 freaking abilities. And there's so many items in the game. I don't want to learn League of Legends, and if I say it wrong, you didn't say the name correctly. Pay a fine. Nah, man.
Telling kids that they're trans at the age of 2. This is what caused this to happen.
Yes.
In my opinion, these Republicans that are proposing these bills are not homophobic and transphobic. They're just not. Chasten Buttigieg, the husband of, I think he's Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, said this. This will kill kids, Ron DeSantis. You are purposefully making your state a harder place for LGBTQ kids to survive in. In a national survey from the Trevor Project, 42% of LGBT youth seriously considered attempting suicide last year. Now they can't even talk to their teachers.
Well, the point is, you know what the point is? The fact that you label it in certain way that it's so important for them to express something that they don't even understand how it will affect them in the life. You know, you're starting this. You're pushing it. You're telling that it's so important. Express yourself, because I could not in my age. But you're expressing it right now. Don't tell kids something is so important that they have to do it now. Let them realize, let them have a talk with you. And if the parent says, no, then we can take some action. But if something seems normal, and the kid feels outcasted, everybody has been there. But with time they realize, hey, this is like me, just like Spider-Verse Spider-Man movie. Miles Morales, he didn't feel comfortable, he didn't know how he had to explore it. He had a bunch of friends, but they didn't agree with him, and finally, he became Spider-Man. And everybody's like, wow, that happens to everybody. Usually, most LGBTQ people, their life story is like Spider-Man, and I appreciate that. But you don't see that. You want to label it from the beginning. You have the power. Be the power. You're Spider-Man. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to sue you. Come on, man.
Teachers? Why don't you be the judge? Here is what Ron DeSantis actually said. He was asked by reporters at a Miami event Monday, and he said it was entirely inappropriate for teachers to be having conversations with students about gender identity, citing instances of them telling children, don't worry, you don't have to pick your gender yet, and also hiding classroom lessons from parents, which we know that this is true because this has been happening for months now.
Look, if you care so much about the kids, make your own.
Quote, schools need to be teaching kids to read, to write. They need to teach them science, history. We need more civics and understanding of the Constitution, what makes our country unique, and all those basic things. I agree with him. And I don't think that means you're not allowing kids to be themselves if they are legitimately gay or transgender. I truly don't think that this is the issue here. I think that parents are angry at things like the library book story, right? Where it talks about vagina slime. Listen to what Republican State Representative Joe Harding had to say on this issue, who was one of the people that introduced this bill. The measure would not prevent students from discussing their families. He added that teachers would not be prohibited from lessons on LGBTQ history, including discussing the 2016 Pulse nightclub massacre in Orlando, Florida. See, this is what is important to teach kids, not about 87 genders before they even know what a goddamn vagina is.
Well, we've reached the end. It's a simple thing. They have been doing this stuff in the schools and it's kind of messed up. It's quite easy to see where you guys are pushing this. But you keep pretending we're not pushing anything. No, it has clearly been documented. But you know what? If nobody listens, we're just gonna block it. Because I don't mind if you're gay. But I do mind if you go teach kids, hey, what do you explore? Oh, what the hell? Imagine the kids believe in a God. Do you think all the Christians and Muslims and Hindu can go, hey, do you believe in this? Do this? Read this? But the people, everybody would go crazy. And everybody's like, yeah, but that's a religion. Well, seems like LGBTQ seems to be like almost like a religion.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Durlo que ta verde ta welcome. Dem bida mi a tu initiative.